Welcome back to RacinBoys TV here on Time Warner Cable's Metro Sports. I'm Scott, he's Kirk, we're the RacinBoys, and we are at Kansas Speedway. And Kirk, a big weekend coming up, the first of 2 weekends here out at Kansas Speedway, and chilly conditions in midweek, but it looks like we're going to have great weather come Sunday.
You know, we've been here covering these races since Kansas Speedway was built in 2001, and I've never been more excited for a Sprint Cup Series race as we'll have this weekend. Based on what we saw at Texas last week, the new Gen 6 cars, and how fast they're going to go around this racetrack, I think it's going to be an awesome weekend.
Oh, I do too. And you look at it, they've raced at Vegas, and as you said, Texas last weekend, those tracks are very similar to Kansas Speedway when it comes to the banking. Those cars should be well tuned, and we should see some great action at Kansas Speedway this weekend. But Kirk, really the big news for us here on the local racing scene is the passing of the Godfather, Clyde Ellis, the owner of Seaburg Muffler, longtime promoter, official, driver, and just overall supporter of the local racing scene, passed away last Friday.
Yeah, I've been in racing for 40-some years, and I've never met anyone as well respected in the racing community as Clyde Ellis. He has done so much for the betterment of racing here in Kansas City. He and his wife, Joan, lifetime members of the Central Auto Racing Boosters. He was one of the inaugural inductees into the Carb Hall of Fame in 2004, and he will be missed. There's no doubt about it.
You know, we've been doing our show over at Sports Radio 810 WHB now for 15 years. And the first 2 years, I did that show with Tom Wilson. He was my co-host. And we reached out to a guy that owned a little muffler shop down in North Kansas City, Clyde Ellis. And if it wasn't for Clyde, who knows? The RacinBoys might not exist. The show that you hear every Saturday morning on 810 might not have existed. So we owe a lot to Clyde Ellis, and so does the racing community. He kept Lakeside Speedway open when it was really down and out during the 90s when it was a pavement track, shelled out nearly $1 million of his own money out of his pocket to keep that place open. So it's just a huge loss losing Clyde Ellis this week. We had a chance to talk to several people about their thoughts of Clyde Ellis and what he meant to them, and none better than Bud Honeycutt.
Yes, Clyde was a good late model driver with the IMCA, late models back years ago. Was hurt in a terrible, tragic accident in Memorial Day 1964 in Topeka at the Fairgrounds track. And he was in a terrible accident that left him unconscious for 31 days. And they really thought that he was not going to recover from that. And Clyde bounced out of that after about 30 days. He woke up one day and his wife, Joan, was sitting there in his room. And he says, "Damn, I'm thirsty." And so, "Get me some water." So his wife ran out and called the doctors and the nurses, and they come running up there, and they brought him some, said, "Can he have what? He can have anything he wants." So they let him have water, and he responded from that, came out of it, and became a very successful businessman. And this Lakeside Speedway would not be here without Clyde Ellis putting all the money he put into the thing. When the owners of them ran out of money, and Clyde footed the bill and finished the place here. And he's quite a promoter and just quite a guy, a very unselfish man that would always be first to help his fellow man. I think my favorite story on Clyde Ellis is he took his son, David McMasters, who is in the Seaburg Muffler business with him now, and took him to the races. When he's a little boy, probably about 8 or 9 years old, Clyde took him to the races. Well, Clyde was really good with faces, but forgot names a lot of times. So the next day when his mother asked David, said, how did you like the races, son? And he says, "Oh, I really enjoyed them. Dad and I really had fun," but said, "Dad sure knows a lot of guys named Buddy." And that was Clyde, because he might not he remember your name, but he knew who you were, and he'd say, "How you doing, buddy?" And so that's kind of the way it was. So I'm kind of glad he knew this Buddy. He's been a very good friend of mine for many years.
Immediately we put the flags at half-staff, to remember Clyde, just a great legend in Kansas City racing history. I don't know what the man has not done and accomplished, as a racer, as a track owner, owning Lakeside Speedway, involved with Carb for years and years and years. And Ellis's have done so much for the racing community. You can't even talk about all the things. And you've known them for years and years. What can you say about the people? Just a wonderful, wonderful person. A kind, a kind person.
Yeah, Clyde was Mr. Kansas City when it come to racing, and I know we're sure going to miss him. I know the Hall of Fame and Museum was, a big part of Joan and Clyde's, life, and I know we all want to do a lot for him, and I know we're sure going to miss him, being a part of that, and we won't forget him, that's for sure. Clyde was, if every weekend he was racing somewhere. And that's what it means to me, because that's what I do. I go racing somewhere every weekend, and that's what I thought about Clyde and Joan, because they was always at the track together, and that I'm sure miss him.
Well, as you can tell from those comments from Mike Johnson, Darren Christie, and Bud Honeycutt, Clyde Ellis was a special man and did a lot for so many people, even outside the world of motorsports. But us as grassroots racers in the local racing community, we should be thankful that we knew a great guy like Clyde Ellis. God bless you, my friend. We're going to miss you, and God bless your family. A little bit later in the show, we're going to be showing you Wing 360 sprint car action from LA Raceway. But coming up next, Trevor Hunt, who picked up his first win of the 2013 season out at Valley Speedway next week.
I've got this friend, big NASCAR fan. Yeah! Totally into it. I say, man, I don't get it. What am I missing here? My buddy says, dude, you have no idea.
Come on out to Kansas Speedway and see what you've been missing. Tickets for the Hollywood Casino 400 on October 6th start at $64. And we have more seats for $99 or less than ever before. Call 866-460-RACE or visit kansasspeedway.com.
Want the best way to shop online? Click kccars.com. Want thousands of vehicles at the lowest prices? Click kccars.com. For McCarthy's brand new Chevys, Toyotas, Nissans, Hyundais, and certified and quality pre-owned vehicles all in one place. Over 1,400 new cars and trucks and 500 pre-owned all at your fingertips. Click kccars.com for the McCarthy Auto Group with over 2,000 new and pre-owned vehicles from the ease of your computer, tablet, or phone 24/7. Log on today. kccars.com.
This portion of RacinBoys TV is brought to you by Kansas Speedway.
Welcome back to RacinBoys TV here on Time Warner Cable's Metro Sports. We're the RacinBoys from Sports Radio 810 WHB. Don't forget, RacinBoys TV is brought to you each and every week here on Time Warner Cable's Metro Sports by McCarthy Auto Group, Kansas Speedway, and Kenny's Towel. Kirk 2013 has just kicked off, and the young driver that we know as Trevor Hunt picked up his first win last week at Valley Speedway.
And it was just about a year ago when Trevor Hunt really made a name for himself by winning the B-Mod feature as part of the King of America Nationals down at Humboldt and the $1,000 prize. Lots happened since that time. He won the Ironman Challenge B-Mod Championship, and he's moved into an A-Mod, has raced with the USMTS drivers, and for a young driver, he is certainly one to watch in the coming years, and he talks about that big race he won at Humboldt and just how his career is moving forward.
You know, when we won here that fourth night, that really spring-stepped our season into a season of success. And we also learned a lot of things over the course of that weekend that helped us throughout the rest of the year. We got to know a lot of people, and especially the second and the third night where we didn't have as much luck. There was a lot of guys that came over and they just helped us out. And we gained a lot of friends throughout that weekend, and I believe that really helped us out throughout the rest of the season last year. My dad and I, my mom, everybody involved with the race team, it gave everybody a lot of confidence that first win. And especially to be at a place like Humboldt, and especially on that night, it was just, the confidence boost was amazing. We did not actually plan on moving up to an A-Mod that quick in the season. We had actually planned on staying in a B-Mod, finishing out the rest of the season, and possibly moving up to an A-Mod to this year, or it was, you know, whatever opportunities arose. So we didn't plan on winning the Ironman Championship, none of that. We had already achieved our goal and we were just off to enjoy life and have fun. You know, it was a lot to get used to. There's a lot more moving parts in the rear end. Obviously the horsepower difference was a lot greater, and as well as the competition, the level of, I guess you could say, quality of driving, which I guess is not the right thing to say, but when we moved into the USMTS deal, it was crazy the way that people drove. I mean, we were really getting our butts spanked those first few races, but we were also learning a lot. And that's why we're still in this, you know. We're still getting our butts spanked every now and again, and we're still having a couple good runs, but we're constantly learning, you know. I mean, we completely expected this moving into the A-mods, just throwing ourselves to the wolves, and the reason we did it is because we knew that moving into these guys would teach us a lot more, you know. And these guys, if you start spinning out or something, or if you get into trouble, these guys they'll go around you, you know, and then they'll come back to the pits and they'll tell you what you did wrong, and they'll help you with that. You know, every track's different, obviously, and Dad and I are really struggling with setup stuff. We're finally getting a handle on it. You know, and coming up, we got a couple really, really big tracks, like down in Muskogee, and we're going down into West Siloam. I hear that's a pretty small racetrack, so it's gonna be pretty different, you know, learning different tracks, seeing what the setup, driving styles, it's all gonna be new. You know, we're gonna try to run the entire USMTS schedule. We think we're gonna need a little bit of help here at the end of the season, but we're just gonna go with the motions and see where we can go. Lakeside's a totally different animal, you know, it's a real big track, real slick, so it's kind of tough to get a handle on, especially in the B mods. And I'm excited to go back with the A mod, and I'm old enough now that I can race there full time this year. And I'm also kind of excited to see what they did with that backstretch wall. Like last night, we broke a transmission. And this morning, we got up early and we unloaded the race car, and Dad and I went to work, JD as well, he was under there helping us. And we got that transmission changed out in probably an hour, you know. And Mom, she's always up there, she's got the video camera, she videos every race so I can come back and review what happened, you know, what can I improve on. She's also up there getting lines, getting the lineup for us. Without her, we wouldn't have time to do all that stuff and get the maintenance done on the race car. So Mom, she's a great help to the team, Dad, JD, everybody. I'm looking for the mistakes I made. How can I fix those mistakes on the racetrack? And I'm also looking at what I did good and how can I do that again? You know, because sometimes I'll have a good lap where I don't know what I did, so I need to go back to the video to find out what I did. And I'll also make a mistake, and I'll get to see where I let off, what caused that. And I've always wanted to be a race car driver. I love dirt racing. I'm kind of hoping to go towards NASCAR. You know, it'd be great, but right now, family and I were just trying to have fun in this USMTS deal. Winning always helps, you know, but running with these guys, it's very, very difficult. So just having fun, you know, everybody is, so just keep it going.
Well, there's Trevor Hunt, the young 14-year-old driver that Kirk reminds me a lot of John O'Neill Jr. back in the 80s when he busted on the scene. Great driver, well-spoken, and the guidance of his dad as well. Trevor Hunt's dad should take a lot of credit for the success that he has. They have the resources, they have the good equipment. Again, a lot like John O'Neill Jr. back in the 80s.
Yeah, and his mom, very big part of that too. And what I'm so impressed with Trevor is how grounded he is and living for the now. You know, we'll see where this takes them. Nobody really knows, but they're going out there just having fun, winning races. They're racing a lot out there, and he's so mature for his young age. It's going to be exciting just to see where this takes him down the road, but he's certainly got some talent. There's no doubt about that.
He's an exceptional talent for 14 years old. Most people know that listen to our show on Saturday mornings on Sports Radio 810 WHB. I don't really care much for drivers under the age of 16 years old driving A-mods, but Trevor Hunt is an exceptional talent. He is not your average 14-year-old, and he's got a bright future ahead of him. When we come back, we're going to run down the road just a little bit to Lamont, Missouri. I ventured down there last weekend. They had an open wheel show, and we're going to visit with some of the participants in the wing portion of that event.
Want the best way to shop online? Click kccars.com. Want thousands of vehicles at the lowest prices? Click kccars.com. For McCarthy's brand new Chevys, Toyotas, Nissans, Hyundais, and certified and quality pre-owned vehicles all in one place. Over 1,400 new cars and trucks and 500 pre-owned all at your fingertips. Click kccars.com for the McCarthy Auto Group with over 2,000 new and pre-owned vehicles from the ease of your computer, tablet, or phone 24/7. Log on today. kccars.com.
Kenny's Tile and Flooring has the Midwest's largest inventory of granite countertops, ceramic tile, and natural stone. We also specialize in carpet, hardwood flooring, hardwood refinishing, and whirlpool tubs. We can also install all of these materials for any remodeling project with our professional Kenny's Tile employees. One of the best kept secrets at Kenny's is our complimentary professional design team. Our design and remodeling experts are the best in the industry, backed up with the experience and education to take your ideas to installation. Check us out at kennystile.com.
This portion of RacinBoys TV is brought to you by McCarthy Auto Group. Go to kccars.com. Welcome back to RacinBoys TV. Glad to have you along. I'm Kirk, Elliott, and Scott Traylor. And throughout the summer, we're going to be checking out a lot of different kinds of racing here in and around the Kansas City area. And here in the early spring, there was some good sprint car racing going on down at Lamont, Missouri's LA Raceway.
That's right, Kirk. 3 open-wheel classes down at LA Raceway last week. Originally, the 360 portion of that event was supposed to be ASCS, but Mike White decided to make that an open event, non-sanctioned event. 26 cars showed up for the 360 wing portion of that event. 19 cars showed up for the wingless auto racing series, the non-wing portion. And then they also had the 1,200 mini sprints down there as well. Had a chance to talk to a few of the drivers. And one of the guys that I was really excited to talk to back in the Warrior region is Kyle Bellm, who picked up his first Lucas Oil ASCS National Tour win at Devil's Bowl just a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, down in Dallas, it was a really surreal night. Started outside front row in our heat race, picked up the win, and started 6th in the feature, and really used restarts to my advantage. The track was really heavy, and you know, we got up into 2nd there, and Christopher Bell lost the rear end, and we capitalized on it and went home and took the victory. Still to this day, still kind of feels a little bit surreal. I mean, the National Tour guys are so good, have so much funding behind them, and to be able to come out on top with them is just really a dream come true for myself as a driver and our whole team. Yeah, I tell you what, our restarts was really, it was a little narrow, and it was going to be tough to pass, but I mean, the good thing about it with being as heavy as it was, if a car got balled up in front of you, you could, it gave you a lane to pass them, and that's where I could get them on the starts. People get real tight, and I could just drive right under them. So, yeah, I mean, we had to work hard for it. You know, we've raced here quite a bit with the Warrior region, and, you know, we're a little bit disappointed that we're not doing that again this year. Main reason why is that fire and safety crew with the Winged Outlaw Warriors or ASCS Warrior region is second to none. I mean, anywhere we go in the country, whether it's National Tour or not, you feel lucky to have these guys here protecting you. The fire safety crew is just unreal. But this track is usually defined slick and sometimes gets pretty racy, sometimes lays rubber. We'll just have to wait and see. They had a lot of rain, so hoping maybe it keeps a little bit of moisture in it, builds a little cushion. We'll just have to wait and see.
Last year we ended on a 2-win streak with the ASCS Warrior division, and we have really high hopes for this season too. I'm not really sure what our plans are quite yet. I'm not quite sure if we're going to follow the points again or just kind of race where we can and broaden our horizons a little bit. But it's coming here. It's nice. We always done get at LA Raceway. Unfortunately, tonight's not an ASCS sanctioned event. But nonetheless, it's close to home. A lot of our family and friends and sponsors will be out here. And like I said before, we do a good job here, and hopefully we can bring home a win tonight. We have a day job too, and we work almost 7 days a week. But you know, there's a really nice prestige behind that ASCS name. And if you win a 360 show, yeah, it's awesome. But if you win a 360 ASCS show, you know it really means something. And I'm not sure the whole mentality behind the whole thing, and I probably won't get behind all of that. You know, I just have to put my helmet on and do what I do best and go out there and try to win. I have a day job. You know, I'm trying to, racing isn't where I make my living. Believe me, I'd love for it to be that way. I haven't been fortunate enough to find the right help, and not taking anything away from the help I have now. It takes a lot of money. It takes a lot of people that are really dedicated and other people that don't have day jobs that can go on the road full time and do those sort of things. But I mean, I'd love to do it. I'd love to get out there. I'd love to race with the best people because I think that's what's going to make me better. Coming back home, though, it's really nice. You get to see your family, though, and the people that have supported me my whole racing career get to come out here and watch me at these local events, and that really means something to me. If you can go out there and get a national tour win, and you know, everybody in the world sees that, and that's kind of the group of people I'm trying to, you know, get to look at me now.
We had a really strong year last year, and back out here again, going to try and pull a little repeat action. I know it's not going to be easy. We got a lot of heavy hitters this year, and it seems like everybody's up the motor program, and we're in the process as well, so we'll see what happens. We came into this deal last year thinking it's going to tear a bunch of stuff up, and we're just going to learn, and ended up coming out of it with a championship. So we're really happy with that, and they tell me I drive it harder than anybody else, and I found out last week that's not always a good thing. So we ended up going through a car last week, and we're trying to battle back from that, and back with Ricky again this week. And I'm also racing this year with Bob Goins and his Midwest Specialty Flooring number 81A. So we've been battling at it. First night we had a right side axle break just out of the blue. We hadn't touched anything. We ran 2 laps and tore up a bunch of stuff. Luckily enough, we have enough friends at the racetrack that kept us going. Dennis Jones and Adam Jones were down there with Brad Ryan racing their car, and we were able to borrow a rear end and a drive shaft and shifter and get out to make the tail of the A main. Started 21st and ran 8th. The The way we sat down and figured it up, we got 54 races this year. The 26 car is going to take some precedent with the War Series, and then Bob Goins' 81A is going to take precedent with the Valley Sprints. And then after that, everything else is just going to be a bonus. I'm going to run roughly 15 to 20 wing shows between my car and Bob Goins' 81A. So we got a lot of opportunities coming this year. Medicine Shop Pharmacy has come back on my personal car, so we'll just see what we can get done.
Well, I had a great time down at LA Raceway last weekend, Kirk. Saturday night action, 26 wing cars, 19 non-wing cars, and they had about 15 or 16 of the 1,200 minis. Good crowd down there. Mike and Carolyn White do a great job.
They're passionate sprint car people, and they got several of these events coming up throughout the summer. And with the future very much in doubt at the State Fair Speedway, folks in and around Sedalia are going to have to lean on LA Raceway even more. It's a great facility that they have down there near Lamont.
Don't forget, in years past, LA Raceway has ran on Friday nights. This year, they're going to be on Saturday nights. So go down there, check it out. Good program and great supporters of grassroots racing. When we come back, we're going to show you the Wing 360 portion of last week's event down at LA Raceway.
I've got this friend, big NASCAR fan. Yeah! Totally into it. I say, man, I don't get it. What am I missing here? My buddy says, dude, you have no idea.
Come on out to Kansas Speedway and see what you've been missing. Tickets for the Hollywood Casino 400 on October 6th start at $64, and we have more seats for $99 or less than ever before. Call 866-460-RACE or visit kansasspeedway.com.
Kenny's Tile and Flooring has the Midwest's largest inventory of granite countertops, ceramic tile, and natural stone. We also specialize in carpet, hardwood flooring, hardwood refinishing, and whirlpool tubs. We can also install all of these materials for any remodeling project with our professional Kenny's Tile employees. One of the best kept secrets at Kenny's is our complimentary professional design team. Our design and remodeling experts are the best in the industry, backed up with the experience and education to take your ideas to installation. Check us out at kennystile.com.
This portion of RacinBoys TV is brought to you by Kenny's Tile. Go to kennystile.com. Welcome back to RacinBoys TV. From time to time on this program, we're going to package up one of the feature events in the area. And to start off the 2013 campaign, it's wing sprint car racing down at LA Raceway. 26 cars showed up at LA Raceway last Saturday night, and it looked like old Porky, Randy Martin, was on his way to picking up a win at LA Raceway, but it was not to be. The 8 car of Danny Lasowski runs him down towards the end. So let's take you to LA Raceway with a call of Saturday night's main event. Here's Scotty Cook.
25 laps of action coming at you. Porky Randy Martin, Tyler Blank, front row. Off of turn number 4, green flag in the air, we're underway. A drag race into turn number 1, who's gonna give? Tyler Blank takes that spot away from Randy Martin. Here comes Porky. Martin back to the top spot. Wheel to wheel, trouble turn 3 and 4 right in front of the field. Andrew Turley. Kyle Bellm getting there a little hot. A tough break for the young man. Coming off of a big win down at the Devil's Bowl Speedway. Lasowski, a big run. Running third, now takes it away from Jonathan Cornell. Sets his sights on your leader, or your second place runner, Tyler Blank. So it's Martin Blank, now Lasowski, a big run, turn 2. Got him. Gives second spot to the dude from Dover, Danny Lasowski. Randy Martin right now getting ready to enter some heavy lap traffic. Smoke coming from the left rear tire. So Martin has his hands full of Danny Lasowski, as the brake rotor glowing bright beneath the Diamond Pit Food 14. Lasowski on the move. Danny Lasowski all over your leader as they enter heavy lap traffic, exiting turn 4. Martin to the low side. Lasowski up top. We got a battle for the lead, turn 2. A big run off of 2, got him. Danny Lasowski, your new leader. Smoke still off the left rear of Martin. Working lap number 14, this time by just over halfway home. We've got a new leader. Lasowski stretching it out back straightaway. And now Lasowski continuing around the top side, 1 and 2. Randy Martin on the move, closing in on your leader. white flag will wave this time by. One more time around for the dude from Dover. Martin running second, now has his hands full of Tyler Blank, right through the middle of the groove, 1 and 2, wheel to wheel on the final lap. Your leader gingerly through traffic in the middle of 3, and out of turn number 4, Danny Lasoski will win at the LA Raceway.
Well, thank you very much. It's nice to get a win for Whitehead Motorsports. Jeff has worked his tail off on this car and he gave me the job to drive it, and I really appreciate it. You know, we've raced a couple times at Wichita, and we've been close. We just never sealed the deal, and I'm just really glad that we could get the job done here at home.
There you have it, Daniel Lasoski picking up the A main win down at LA Raceway last Saturday night. Congratulations to him. You know, the dude is kind of running an outlaw schedule this year. He's going to be running out in Pennsylvania. He's going to be running sometimes in the 8 car, driving Mark Birch's car that he drove up at I-80 a couple weeks ago, as well as driving the Creason Motorsports car. So he's going to be all over the map, not running for points at any one place. Look for him to pick up a lot of wins in 2013. Kirk, we got a lot of action ahead of us this week on RacinBoys TV. We're going to be out at Kansas Speedway. We're going to be on Sports Radio 810 WHB. Got a lot of things for the race fans next week here on RacinBoys TV.
Yeah, this is the first of the big weekends here with the STP 400 for the NASCAR Sprint Cup Series on Sunday, preceded by the NASCAR Camping World Truck Series SFP 250, and we'll have it all covered for you here on RacinBoys TV coming up next week.
We hope you will join us then. For Kirk Elliott, I'm Scott Traylor. We are the RacinBoys. We'll see you next week right here on RacinBoys TV.